Hello friends, today I came with a very attractive video. The most dangerous woman in the world. If you want to know who this woman is and what she does, stay with me until the end of the video. Have you ever come to terms with the concept of equality between men and women? You have become familiar with the political and social arenas. It is interesting to know that in the 21st century, in many countries, especially those governed by dictatorship, the presence of women in all administrative and political fields is prohibited, or it is a very difficult task. North Korea is one of them. It is one of those countries that is very patriarchal, contrary to its propaganda about equal rights for men and women, and in reality, women are always used as subservient goods to their wives, who have no value in social positions. Now imagine that a woman has been able to. The title of the second most powerful person in North Korea was won by a woman named Kim Yo Jong, or the sister of the North Korean leader, who plays an important role in her brother's decisions. In this part, we want to discuss the history and position of this high-ranking woman in one of the most patriarchal and mysterious countries in the world, North Korea. Kim Yo Jong, who is considered to be the younger sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, is actually a master of false propaganda and a very professional and skilled politician. He is mentioned in some titles as the true leader of North Korea after his brother's empire. But who is she really, and what do we know about this mysterious woman always behind the scenes? First of all, we need to know that complete information about him has never been available, and contrary to what is expected today in the age of internet and data, a large part of his life, even the time and place of his birth, is a guess. Some consider his birth to be related to the year 1989. While the South Korean authorities call her 2 years older, what is clear is that her face shows that this powerful woman is in her late 30s, a woman who has two older brothers, one of whom is the most dangerous person in the world, the leader of North Korea. Despite such a brotherhood and his decisions and laws, as well as the constant companionship of Kim Yo Jong with his brother, in many media she is called the most dangerous woman in the history of the world. He is given. First, let's examine the life story of Kim Jong Un's elder brother, who we mentioned about how he was killed in the video about the strange executions in North Korea. Kim Yo Jong went to Switzerland with his aunt and his aunt's husband to continue his education, and as the son of the diplomat studied in one of the expensive schools in Switzerland. This was the turning point for his betrayal of the existing laws in North Korea, who later claimed that the process of laws in North Korea should be changed and everyone should achieve freedom and security like the West. Influenced by Western culture, he seriously disagreed with his father, and even though he was the viceroy of his father, he fell out of his sight, and this is how his existence became dim. It is even mentioned in some sources that the father and the previous leader of North Korea said that due to my older son's opposition to me and the indifference of my younger son in running the affairs of the country, who ironically became the leader of this country after his father, my daughter will succeed me, reach a leadership position. Although the leadership by a woman is prohibited in this empire, in the following, it is interesting to know that due to the strict conditions and the irrational laws of the dictatorship by this royal family to cut off the citizens' connection with the outside world of North Korea, the younger brother Kim Jong Un and his sister Kim Yo Jong was also sent to Switzerland to study, and this was perhaps the beginning of the excessive intimacy of these siblings and Kim Yo Jong's rise to power at the hands of his brother. She was educated in this country and began her first impressions on the monarchy of this country as a woman behind the curtain. For example, in the same year his father declared his heart's desire to open North Korea's doors to a number of foreign visitors, an interest that could not have been the product of his own thinking alone. Just when the older brother, as the official and blood successor of the father, was in open war with the father and his decisions and had preferred life outside of North Korea to inside it, Kim Yo Jong had been able to win the father's heart and share many of his interests, so that her father called her Princess Yoo Jung. But contrary to what is expected of a woman in this country, she achieved countless political positions as well as significant international fame, all of which stemmed from her father's early attention to her. But in the beginning and before the real fame, she is mentioned as the woman who stands next to the leader of North Korea in all ceremonies. My friends, if you liked the video so far, give it a like and let's see the rest of the story. An honor that maybe at that time was given to less political figures or even special anniversaries, let alone a young girl who neither had the ability to be a bodyguard nor could be a member of the Korean Women's Army. She must definitely be an important and trusted person of this leader, because of all these uncertainties were also due to the fact that no source had officially introduced him. That is why he is always mentioned as a hand behind the curtain. Kim Yo Jong was first seen with his father at the Labour Party conference in September 2010. He was also seen in many international trips of Kim Jong, his father, which was a great surprise and question for the world. Also, at her father's funeral ceremony, she was seen right next to her brother, Kim Jong Un, which according to many analysts in the world, especially in South Korea, she must be a powerful woman and close to this family. Otherwise, how can she be a few steps away from the coffin of the leader who, according to the people of North Korea, came from the sky as standing after all these questions and doubts? In March 2014, Kim Yo Jong was officially introduced by the North Korean media. At that time, he was seen and identified with North Korean leader Kim Jong in the election of the Supreme People's Assembly. Despite all these posts and social and political positions, one fact attracts opinions about him more than anything else. She is a woman in the most patriarchal country in the world. Not only was he able to gain a huge position in the political seat of this country in such a situation, but in many cases it was seen that he personally issued statements instead of his brother, which shows that he and the leader of North Korea had a very high influence. Kim Yo Jong's high power was very unique and remarkable. But if you know a little about the history of North Korea, you can understand that she was not the first woman to gain such high influence. His aunt, Kim Kyung-hwa, already had a high status and influence as the daughter of the first leader of North Korea and the sister of Kim Jong. She was a high-ranking woman in political office, and as mentioned, she also had a high influence on her father and brother, who was also responsible for raising the current leader of North Korea, Kim Jong Un, as a child. The leader who ordered the death of his aunt's wife in the year 2013. After this incident, Kim's aunt was hidden from all opinions and rumors were heard about her execution, and Kim himself had mentioned the order of his aunt's execution in his speech. But again in 2020, shockingly, this powerful woman returned to the field, but this time with much less power than before. According to many political analysts in the world, Kim Jong-un's successor is none other than Kim Yo Jong, the most powerful woman in North Korea, because in many sources, the most important role in the political education of this influential woman is considered to be her aunt. He who never wanted power out of his head wanted to receive power from his brother's daughter. Following on from the actions of this influential woman, we must say that in any dictatorial government like North Korea, there is nothing more important than photos and apparent symbols to promote and encourage the leaders of these countries. If you have a short trip to this country, you can understand how these photos and symbols have the role of controlling the behavior of the citizens of these countries. In the most private places, such as your car or even your own bedroom, you should have a photo of the current and former leader of this country. If you think that the mastermind of such things is a person as ruthless as Kim Jong Un, you are very wrong. Rather, it is his sister who, after 2014, when she was elected as the replacement for the implementation of advertisements in the Labour Party, the official who still has orders to do such things. Even today, he has forced people to hold a big celebration for a decade of his brother's rule as the true leader of Korea. What has only caused Kim to trust him too much, contrary to everyone's belief that he is the second most powerful person in North Korea. Many call him the executive director of Kim Jong Un's programs in Korea. For more clarity, let's revisit the topic of these photos of the North Korean leader. The photos show him as a compassionate person and a kind father to the North Korean nation, a leader who is following in the path of his grandfather. Do you still think that all those images of Kim Jong Un with happy students in North Korea, or for example, his feeling of discomfort and sadness when he hugs orphan children are real? Or even when, in the year 2013, the world witnessed the strange friendship of Kim Jong Un with the former basketball star Dennis Rodman, a friendship that resulted in the basketball star's frequent visits to Korea and his irrational defense of the dictatorial regime of this country. Was the mastermind behind all these developments the leader of North Korea? The answer is no. All these actions were all part of the propaganda program of Kim Yo Jong, the sister of the leader of North Korea, the woman who was known as a shadow for a long time. Kim Yo Jong, in addition to successful leadership and management propaganda of the Workers' Party of North Korea, was able to obtain several other positions and ranks during the period of his political activities. For example, he became a member of the Central Committee of North Korea in 2016, and in 2017 as a deputy of one of the members. The most influential political office of the country was elected, and also decided to act as a representative of North Korea during the 2018 Winter Olympics. However, things may not have always been so easy for Kim Jong Un. For example, in the year 2021, his name was removed from the political office, although he continued to function as the main member of government bodies such as the Central Committee. But was this evidence of his demotion? Analysts were not very sure. Anyway, it is very difficult to find the truth in the world of North Korean politics, but after a short period of time, he returned to power again, so that in the same year, 2021, he was able to manage the State Affairs Commission, which is the highest authority. He was also promoted. Another interesting point during Kim Yo Jong's period of power was the use of a threatening and rude tone against all the enemies of the North Korean dictatorial regime, even when these tensions were decreasing in the year 2021, for example, when those who managed to escape from Korea sent an anti-regime letter from South Korea to the North Korean government, Kim Yo Jong. He condemned South Korea and threatened to sever relations between these two countries. He also called human rights activists human scum and different dogs in a statement. He also provoked the world against the United States when the United States of America and South Korea were conducting joint military exercises in the year 2021, and caused threats and bad effects in the relations between North and South Korea, so that In the year 2022, he spoke of a terrible disaster that will await South Korea in case of military attacks. In addition, Kim Yo Jong announced the word of deadly revenge against South Korea due to the introduction of the coronavirus into this country. The threats of this powerful woman do not end here. She even warned the newly arrived Biden administration in an official statement published in March 2021 and said that if you want to sleep in peace for the next 4 years, it is better to create a void smelling bad. Then you will see that the title of the most dangerous woman in the world is definitely worthy of her. A woman who has such power in the political arena that sometimes she directly speaks or makes decisions instead of her brother. For example, when Kim Yo Jong went to South Korea for the Winter Olympics on behalf of North Korea and showed her enthusiasm and ability by inviting us to replace the president, this country showed an action that was not possible without a green light from the leader of North Korea. So now we can say with certainty that this strange empire does not have only one owner, and we can find out who is the mastermind behind many of these issues. So far, we have found that brutality and dictatorship are not unique to Kim Yo Jong, and this is a family inheritance that has nothing to do with literacy and intelligence or education abroad. What is going on in the veins of this family is uncontrollable madness. Kim Yo Jong's decisions instead of his brother. We should mention that in June 2020, when an announcement regarding opposition to the North Korean regime was published by the neighboring country of South Korea, Kim Yo Jong responded to these announcements and claimed that he ordered actions focused on the International Joint Liaison Office were to be carried out. The next day, that office was blown up, which shows that, considering Kim Yo Jong's threats, this action may have been ordered by him. Also, he offered economic assistance to South Korea in the year 2022, rejected the plan to shut down the nuclear weapons program, and in response told the president of South Korea to shut his mouth. A bold and direct statement that can be expected directly from Kim Jong Un. Finally, we should know that he has made 40 statements in the length of his brother's leadership, has issued all these speeches and one-sided statements. But the main question here is whether Kim Yo Jong can really gain full leadership power in North Korea. According to some reports, he has already done so. Friends, what do you think about this? Leave a comment below this video to let me know your opinion. When, in the year 2014, Kim Jong Un was being treated for a dangerous disease, he was in fact the leader of Korea. But because a country like North Korea is often not ready to admit the inability of its leader to continue the country, we cannot be sure that Kim Yo Jong. He had the opportunity to lead the country early in his career, but that doesn't mean he won't have it in the future. If the current leader of North Korea dies before any of his children reach legal age, Kim Yo Jong may declare his succession as viceroy before the next leader takes office. Although all these cases are speculations and hypotheses, and the question arises whether the North Korean military, which has a very high influence in this country, is ready to accept the leadership of a woman. But in the end, time is the best historian, and it should be seen what events await him and how he challenges the world with his decisions. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. To see the next videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and introduce us to your friends. Until the next video, take care of yourself